this video, I'll show you how to use or create a site page within a model-driven app and render a web resource content in it. So we'll try to see two examples, web resource of type HTML and web resource of type image. Now, for the demonstration purpose, what I'll do is like I'll go to Airlines Core Solution and then show you the couple of web resources. So we'll create two web resources. One is of type image and one is of type HTML. So if you go into the web resources, as you see, I have already uploaded few resources. So if you see this image, so Star Alliance is an image. Now I've already uploaded this image. So this is that image of web resource. So we'll try to see whether we can render this or not. That is one. And second is we'll create a new HTML. So I'll do more web resource and then I'll try to create a web resource. So this web resource is of type web page HTML and I'll call this as airline content. Now here I need to paste some HTML code. Now for that, let's go to W3 schools and try to get some HTML. So I'm just gonna randomly pick up some HTML code from the website. You can create your own HTML, but let me copy this HTML code and paste it over here. And let me go into tables and let me copy this entire table content. So I'm just picking up like some random HTML. In your case, it will be your own content, and you can use that content to render within a model driven app. Now, use case. Use case for this is like, say, I have a model driven app over here. Now, so take, for example, if you navigate within a record. So if I go into one of the record over here, I want some more information to be displayed to the end user. So what I want is someone to click on the site pane. I want an icon over here which will allow me to basically click on it and render the content. Like if I click on Copilot over here, I can see some content, right? So similarly, I want that content to be rendered. Now for that, what I would do is I will first go into the web resources which I have just created. So I have created uh, a web resource. So let me find that just now. It's like airline content. Now, if you see the name, this name is important. We need to copy this name, gcop underscore airline content. Now let's go into the code. Now I'm going to Visual Studio Code. Now here I'm going to write a code to uh, display the web resource. So xrm dot. So let me show you the example. So xrm dot app dot side panes dot create pane. So this is the piece of code which we're going to write. Now here we need to specify what should be the title of the site pane. So here I will say maybe this one would be a star image, and we need to specify what should be the icon of that site pane. So I'm gonna say web resources slash. So I have already copy pasted the content over here. So I'll just copy paste here web resource gcop signal high, and I can put in other parameters. So let me copy this. Let me get the pane ID. So this is a unique identifier. So I'll call this as image 001. And here I think there is some syntax mistake. So title colon star image comma xrm.app.sitepanes.create pane title star image img src web resources signal high pane id is this, and then I can specify so width. The width I want is say maybe 600 pixels, and then I will close this. Now here we need to put a curly braces, okay, so that in curly braces we are passing this parameter. Now this is important to note that we have created this parameters, and then what are we going to do with this parameter is like I will just call the then, and then I'll specify pane, and I will pass an arrow operator, and I'll say pane dot navigate. So this is the syntax basically to call the web resource. So you pass a parameter again, and then you specify the page type, as a web resource. Now this is important. Page type web resource. So page type of type web resource, and I will type in web resource name. So what is a web resource name? So remember, R is not capital, it is small. So web resource name colon and the name of the web resource. And this is our piece of code. So let me format the document. Now, just to show you what we are doing, we are naming the title as star image. The icon of the side pane which will appear is this, and this is the unique identifier, and this is the width, and then we are telling page type is web resource and render this web resource. So in order to execute this, what we will do, we will first get the web resource name. So web resource name is, uh, let's pick up first the star alliance image. So gcorp underscore star alliance star alliance. So this is just an experiment we are doing whether we can render an image or not. So this is for an image rendering. Now I'll copy the same code, and instead of the image, now for the second one I need to change the pane id and maybe the icon which gets rendered. So instead of high I will put it as medium, and uh, here instead of the web resource of rendering an image I will show the html page which we created. Now the html page which we created is airline content, so which is gcorp underscore airline content. So we'll execute this code one by one. First, we will take this image part and see whether it gets rendered or not. Let me save this, and I will not write a JS. I will JS and embed within the model driven app. What I'll do, I'll instead just refresh the screen and go to the developer tools and try embedding the content. So three dots, more tools, developer tools, and within the developer tools, I will just paste the code. Now, as you see, I clicked on it and then it displayed the star alliance image. So just to show you what is happening over here, I ran the code. If you click on this, this will render the web resource. So this is successful. So we can render a web resource of type image within the panel. Now, this is good. Let's go to the developer tool again. More tools, developer tools, and let's execute the HTML now. So if you get here, take the piece of code, copy this. Now this time I should be able to see the HTML content if everything is correct. I press enter, I can see one more thing over here and I can see the HTML is now getting rendered. So what we have done, so we have successfully created a couple of side panes. Now the first side pane which we created renders web resource of type image. Second pane which gets rendered displays web resource of type HTML. If I want to see, I just click here and then I can see star alliance image. If I want to see this, I will see the HTML content over here, right? And it shows you the table, it will shows you the heading and all those things. Now if you wonder, like, I'm not able to see the style. Now why? Because if you see over here, this table does not have a specific style embedded in it, right? Now, if I want to see the style, I need to go into this HTML code and then copy this entire thing. Now, remember, this goes into the head, style, and all those things. So make sure that you copy the content correctly and go into your HTML code, airline content, and we are just seeing whether this will work or not. Now, we have just saved it. We have clicked on save. Let me publish this web resource and I will again paste this content, but this time I'll make the ID as 3 because I want 3 side panes to appear. So that should be a unique identifier. Let's go into the code over here. And now this time I will click on developer tools. So which is F2 valve, paste the content and I get another pane over here. But it does not render the image. So you need to, what you need to do is like you need to start incorporating inline styles within your application. Now if I just refresh this page again, all the site pane will disappear, and let me paste that code here again. Now once I do that, I should be able to see the content, and now I can see the style as well. Now the style is the style which we have rendered is inbuilt within the HTML code, and that's why it is showing you in nice format. So just to summarize what we have done, we have created a web resource of type image and of type HTML, HTML with styling component, and try to render it and create it as a site pane. Why this is important: if you want to show some facts, or if you want to show some static content, or maybe this can be loaded dynamically as well. So if you want to have that requirement within your model driven app, just to show some snippet of information, or some live information, or maybe some content or some reference information for the end user while filling the form, then you can use this approach. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.